Hi, I'm Neish, currently pastor at Sparks United Methodist Church, but long time ago, the associate pastor of Good Samaritan Church in Cupertino. I'd like to just share with you some thoughts about how all of that came about and why it's so important for me to join you in celebrating the 65th anniversary of this phenomenal congregation. I was a seminary student and went to Good Sam as part of a choir tour one February, and I was invited along with others to consider maybe coming to the church to manage an intern program that summer. I decided to apply. I was accepted, and I spent 3 months at the church as an intern director and just got a taste of some of the wonderful opportunities that church offered, not only to its lay people, but to its community as well. That's why I was so excited to accept Senior Pastor Roy Dunn's invitation 2 years later when I was graduating from seminary to come and serve as his full-time associate pastor. And so from 1979 to 1990, I was the associate pastor and was involved in so many wonderful projects and developed so many wonderful relationships. One of the relationships that I profited from most was just simply working with Roy. And I'll just give you a taste of what it was like to work with Roy. I arrived there in August of 1979. In September of 79, we went off on a retreat to Marin County, staying at the base of Mount Tam. And we got up in the morning and Roy said, "I think we should hike to the top of Mount Tam." And so we headed out on a trail that pretty much disintegrated over a short period of time, so it was rough going making it up to the top. But Roy held out that vision of being at the top of Mount Tam by saying, just imagine how few people have ever viewed the entire Bay Area from the top of this mountain. So I was excited, Roy was excited. It took us 4.5, probably close to 5 hours to get up that mountain. And then I discovered something. I was a little ahead of Roy. There was a macadam path going around, it seemed like, the entire top of the mountain. I got up on the path and I said, "Hey Roy, there's a path up here." And he said, "No, that's impossible." And I said, "It's paved and I'm standing on it." Well, he came up and joined me. We walked down a little bit farther and saw a bench to sit on, then a hot dog stand, and then a parking lot. Roy turned to me and he said, "Well, as God is my witness, I had no idea you could drive up here." Well, that was when I knew Roy and I were going to have a good time. And indeed we did. Through all the many opportunities for ministry we had, my goodness, together we helped the congregation build a new worship space, the new sanctuary. We began the preschool that continues to thrive to this day. And then kind of as a crowning moment, we were able to build a new classroom building. So much was going on during those years that I really treasure. But probably the most important thing for me was meeting the love of my wife, Joanne Avery, who actually grew up in the church, and we had the privilege of hiring as our church musician. And the more we worked together, the more we felt an attraction. I proposed in October of 1987. We were married in February, on February 14th, 1988, in probably the biggest church wedding I have ever been to. Certainly, I think the biggest one at Good Sam. We packed the new sanctuary, even had seating outside. And also, thanks to the generosity of the folks at Good Sam, had a phenomenal reception right next door in the social hall, the old sanctuary. And then, of course, we had champagne in a champagne tailgate party out in the parking lot. You know, those are just a few of the great memories that I could never, ever forget. And I owe so much to the congregation at Good Sam for putting up with me for 11 years, and especially to Roy for having the trust in hiring me and working with me during that period of time. It was probably the most formative time in my life when it comes to ministry, and I'm grateful. Happy anniversary, 65th. May you have 65 more great years. Good Samaritan Church, Cupertino.